What's happening, guys? We're back again. This is the second episode of Menace Hiatus. We're here to review our favorite zombie show out there, The Walking Dead. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This episode was Inmates. Season 4, Episode 10, titled Inmates. And the title is a little misleading because you're not going to be dealing with anybody trapped in a prison. In fact, you're not going to be dealing with anybody trapped inside of any building whatsoever. No, this is more about the survivors that have been scattered throughout the world due to the prison being destroyed by the governor's attack, and how they're dealing with being trapped with the particular person that they're with. And they paired these people up really well. This is a good episode, guys. A lot of character development like the first one, but this one, it's a little bit slower, but it's good. It's good. So let's start with how the show opened up. The opening credits roll, that great intro starts, and you get a voiceover from Beth. That's Maggie's sister. She's kind of a character that's been under the radar so far in the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, but I got a strong feeling that they're about to flesh this character out. You get a voiceover with her talking about how she was scared to feel safe in the prison, even though her father, Herschel, who we saw get his head chopped off at the end of the first season of season 4, which was pretty fucking awesome. I like Herschel, but it's never a bad thing when you kill characters that the fans love. Anyways, she was describing how she was scared to feel safe in the prison, and it almost was more comfortable to just stay afraid, stay thinking this shit could go wrong. And the powerful thing about this opening scene was she was saying how, yeah, she's finally accepting the fact that she is safe in the prison. While this voiceover is going on, though, you have a visual of her and Daryl running through an open field, being chased by walkers, obviously now out in the wild, not safe in the prison at all anymore. The second group of inmates that we get to see were awesome. I've been waiting to see what Liz and Millie were up to. If you don't remember them, they're the 2 little girls that Karen were basically teaching how to be badasses in the prison, and that's what she got kicked out for. Oh no, it was killing somebody. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't remember. Anyways, that's not important. The inmates that we get to see next are Liz and Millie, and they're paired up with Tyrese, the fucking badass dude who can kill 100 walkers with a hammer. Yeah, that's the next group of inmates, and it was pretty awesome. Their time spent in the show was not wasted. It was definitely the highlight of episode 10, if you ask me. Lizzie crazy, man. Lizzie crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you saw the episode, you know why I'm saying that. Judith, I should throw this in there. I should definitely mention it. The baby that Rick and Lori, or maybe Lori and Shane conceived. I don't know. We're going to have to find a paternity test out there in the apocalypse and find that out. But Judith is also with them. So you got Lizzie, Millie, Judith, Tyrese. Awesome combination, dude. You feel so vulnerable, but at the same time, you got Tyrese. And I'm just saying this, if you ever had to give your baby to someone in the zombie apocalypse, it would be Tyrese. He's a fucking badass, dude. And the chemistry that this group had was awesome. The little girls were scared, but Lizzie is almost sociopathically brave. And then you got Tyrese, who is a natural protector. You can feel it in this guy. He wants to protect people when he's around them. He kills because he only wants to protect people. He's not a murderer. And the way this group interacted was great. It was awesome. I like the part where Tyrese paired them up back to back and was teaching them how to watch each other's back. I like how he coached the younger one, Millie. I like how Lizzie was telling Millie, you know, toughen up. You gotta toughen up. Carol's not coming back right now, okay? They did a great job with this group. The one thing that did kind of creep me out, holy shit, Lizzie almost killed that baby. I get it. It kept on crying. You wanted to quit crying. But did you see the way she was just... I mean, give the fucking baby some air, right? How crazy can you be? You're going to kill this thing. So I would have liked them to show what happened when Carol actually showed up and saw that. Spoiler alert, Carol's back. Yeah, Rick sent her off after she did something to save the group. Well, she's back now. It turns out she saw the whole events that took place with the governor attacking the prison. She just showed up too late to help anybody. of course, and she was following the girls, finally found them when Tyrese left to go see if the survivors needed any of his help, and she pretty much got the girls out of that sticky situation they were in when they were standing back to back and some walkers were coming up while Lizzie was deciding to smother Judith, Rick's child. Yeah, that was pretty deep. Next you have Maggie, Sophia, the girl who rolls around with Tyrese, and that other guy who's pretty much to this point in the show irrelevant. That guy who sucks. I can't remember his name. Black dude. He's not important. So, Glenn, Maggie, separated, heartthrob. Oh, I want to find Glenn. That was pretty much the sum of their time on screen. I gotta admit, that was probably my least favorite part of episode 10, Inmates, was watching Maggie pretty much have a breakdown over not being able to find Glenn. I get it. You guys known each other for about 13 months. He's the only other young guy out there besides maybe Carl that you could have a relationship with. Hey, don't hate on Carl, man. He's old enough. He can kill a zombie. He can get some booty if he wants to. So, she could have picked him. I'm just saying. Anyways, yeah, I get it. You fell in love with the guy. You want to find him. So what? He's not out there. Focus on surviving. Why are you dragging these other two people along with you, making them almost die? I don't know, man. Maybe it's that I'm not that much of a sucker for love, but I just didn't feel her story, man. I just didn't feel her story. I didn't feel it. Sorry. Next. Glenn is alive, and he's been sleeping the entire time. Guess what? He never even got on the bus, and he got over that sickness as well. What a miracle, right? Yeah. So, Inmates, episode 10, season 4 of Walking Dead started off on a pretty high note with Daryl and Beth. But I gotta say, towards the end of the show, I got pretty disinterested, man. I just wasn't interested in Glenn's I'm waking up in the prison. I never even went anywhere. I slept through the entire fight. Now I got this armor. Yeah, it was pretty underwhelming. And let me just tell you, the very ending of the show was pretty underwhelming as well. Let me just give you a quick recap of what happens. Glenn wakes up. He's been sleeping the entire time. Zombies are all around him, but they can't get him because he's up on some rubble. He goes into the prison, gathers up some materials, cries over Maggie. I can't find Maggie. She's somewhere out there. Then he gets some body armor, runs straight into a pile of zombies in which he should have died because the body armor only covers certain parts of his body. These zombies clearly still have the strength of their former human selves. That means 20 grown humans tackling one human would tear his fucking Chinese ass apart into 1,000 General Tao chicken pieces, but he gets through somehow. I don't know. Then he stops unrealistically to help a girl that he has no prior knowledge of, even though he's supposed to be in love with Maggie and hell-bent on finding her. So let me get this straight. Maggie's in love with you. She drags the two people she's with through hell to see if you're on a bus. You're in love with Maggie. You stop to walk all the way back to the prison just to see if this new girl you see, hey, might need some help. Hey, what's going on? You need a little bit of this help, huh? You need some help? Yeah, bullshit. Totally uninteresting. And the show wraps up with Duke Nukem making a guest appearance. Yeah, I love cameos, but you kind of threw me out of it. Look, man, this fucking red-headed ginger dude with a machine gun pops out of nowhere with two badasses next to him. Like, hey, what's going on? Totally threw me out. Look, I'm not saying he's going to be a new character on the show. Probably just someone we're going to see their head bit off later, but the end of the show was a little underwhelming. I was a little taken out of it at the end. Sorry. Again, it may be the whole fact that I'm not a sucker for the love story arc thing, or, you know, I don't know what it is. But all in all, I'd say that this was a good episode. This was a good episode. 7 out of 10 at the least. If anyone went lower than that, I really don't see where you're coming from. The directing on this second semi-season of Part 4 is great. I loved how the beginning had the voiceover of Beth's journal, and her segment with Daryl wrapped up with another voiceover of her journal. That was great, man. I like the directing that's taking place in the second semi-season. clearly they're setting us up for something with the end of this episode. It just did kind of leave me a little bit wanting a little bit more, man. Just wanting a little bit more, or maybe ending on some characters that I cared about a little bit more. That's just me, though. You could feel differently. That's perfectly fine. That's the great thing about these shows. They're all subjective. But yeah, let me know how you felt. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Menace Hiatus. This shit will be getting better, and I will be back.